Welcome back to the Radio Academy podcast. I'm your host, Georgy Jamieson, and this week we talk about the most eagerly anticipated TV event of the year. The Gavin and Stacey finale at Christmas is nearly here, but what do you do when everyone's talking about it, but your best mate has never seen your favourite show? Well, music DJ and sports presenter Abbie McCarthy is a super fan of the classic sitcom, and Olivia Jones, presenter for Virgin Radio UK, has never seen it until now. They've been friends since 2009 and have come together to make the Never Seen Gavin and Stacey podcast. So I caught up with them to find out what's occurring. Olivia, how on earth have you never seen Gavin and Stacey?
Thank you, Georgie. That's the correct
It's a good question to start with. Yeah, fair question to start with. I don't know, because frustratingly, I don't know what I was doing. What was I doing if I wasn't watching Gavin and Stacey? You know, it was a slow burn when the TV show started in 2007. You can see the viewing figures. They were all under 1 million, the first few episodes. It became a cult classic, but actually not many people knew about it at the start. And as you can hear throughout these episodes that we've been sharing, I start realising like, oh yeah, I've heard that before, or my mum's been saying that to me for years. How did I not clock on? And so a lot of the people around me, including Abbie, have watched it, and I don't know where I was. I honestly don't know where I was.
How have you missed the repeats though? I mean, it's on all the time. I didn't see it when it first went out. I caught up with it later.
All right, I can feel that this is an issue for you. All I can say is that I don't know. I've been busy. I've been outside. That's all I can say.
Yes,
I've been outside instead of watching telly. That's all I can say.
Spent too much time at home watching watching You and Watch, or whatever on earth it's called, and old repeats on BBC Three. Who first came up with the idea for the podcast?
I did, all because I was desperate to be a part of this Christmas finale, and I went back and forth with it. I knew it was going to be quite a lot of work to put it together. And thank goodness I've got a friend like Abbie who knows exactly what she's doing. And that has been the crux of this project working, because in order to make all these episodes, you know, we've got to watch it, we've got to make notes, we've got to record together. I do the first edit, Abbie does the second edit. Like, I needed somebody who could help me with this. And thank goodness I had a best mate that I could lean on.
A great idea. Salute to you, Olivia.
It is a great idea. It is a fantastic idea, because as a fan, and I know, Abbie, you've said this on the podcast, you get to watch it through your eyes, Olivia, a fresh pair of eyes. Abbie, what have you learned about your favourite sitcom, seeing it through your friend's eyes?
It's been really interesting. I think because it's my comfort show, I never really read into it too deeply. There's lines from the show that I quote on a daily, if not hourly basis to all my friends and family. But it's been like drawing the parallels between the characters and like really kind of digging into the writing, I think, and the format of the show. I'm seeing all of that in a different way. And if I'm honest, it just makes me more of a fan. Like, I know Ruth Jones and James Corden's writing is great. That's why this became such a hit. But kind of really zoning in on it for every single episode has just made me love it even more. There's so many moments of genius, and sometimes it actually goes unnoticed. And I'd never noticed that Gavin and Stacey are always on the phone to start every single episode. Olivia, you picked up on that, didn't you? Maybe 2 or 3 episodes in. And I was like, oh yeah, of course. But it just kind of washes over me in a way, because I've seen this show so many times, I kind of don't give it too much thought.
There have been times listening to the podcast with you two where, and I'm like you, Abbie, I've seen them over and over again, but there are things that I've gone, no, I didn't notice that before. And I've got to go back and watch it. There were a couple of times, Olivia, where you've pointed things out that I have never, ever noticed. Olivia, I'm loving the instant reaction voice notes that you're doing, that you then put into the podcast. That's a great idea, because we get that instant guttural, oh my God, you know, such and such has just happened, or Pam has just said this, or Mick's just done that. Was that something that just happened? You thought, oh, I'll do that, or was that part of the podcast plan?
I always thought I would do it, and it was in part because I wanted it to stay true to my relationship with Abbie that I wanted to react how I would react with her. So if we were watching at the same time when it was going out live in 2007 and I'd had WhatsApp at the time, I would have voice noted her like, oh no, I can't believe that's just happened. So I sort of wanted to do that even though I'm, 15 years late. The opportunity to get to react live, that's the beauty of this, isn't it? Because I am genuinely seeing it for the first time. So yeah, I'm glad you've enjoyed that. We've had that feedback as well from other people where, they are super fans and they've gone, oh, it's so nice to hear her genuine emotion in that moment because it takes me back to how I felt as well.
Just got to the iconic curry order where Smithy is losing the plot because he doesn't want to share and he's just accused Pete of eyeing up his booners.
Pete, have you thought about my booners? It's good. Great line. In fact, I might lock that in the Gavin and Stacey Hall of Fame as one of the top lines. It's good, that. And I think it's amazing characterisation, isn't it? What they all order. Like, if you were to put them to a curry order, it kind of works. Stacey obviously has a korma. She's the worst in this episode, by the way. Genuinely can't stand Stacey in this episode.
Have you got the ick?
I've got the Stacey ick.
Now, by the time this podcast comes out, your third season will be out. So, Olivia, have you seen everything now?
As of today, yes.
So you're completely up to date.
Yeah. I'm just a few years late, but I'm officially here.
Excellent. Oh, because that was one of the things I was just listening to, the one you did about the Christmas special where Gavin and Stacey say they're moving back to Wales. And I was thinking there's so much more to come. So do you feel ready for this Christmas Day special now? And has anything surprised you about those last episodes?
I think maybe I don't feel ready in the same way that Abbie does. Abbie's got theories. My goodness me, she's got theories left, right and centre. And I feel like I've not had enough time to get the theories yet.
But you were doing predictions, weren't you? As relationships were changing, you were saying what you thought might happen.
Yeah.
As you were watching each episode in each series. So have those predictions come true? Did you guess what was going to happen?
I don't know, Abbie. What do you think? Have they been largely true?
A lot of them have come true, I think. You often kind of see the foreshadowing and you read into it. You're quite perceptive, actually. So it will be interesting to get your predictions for the Christmas special.
Thanks, babe. Appreciate that. I am very perceptive. No, I don't know. I don't think that I haven't warmed to the same characters that Abbie's warmed to as well. And I think that gives us a great bit of back and forth. Like, I'm not that into Bryn, if I'm honest with you.
You're really not, are you?
No, he's a fan favourite. And I'm like, he's a bit of a creep and he reads the room wrong so many times. I'm like, get the ick, really. Whereas Abbie's like, how dare you when it comes to some of these key characters. So that gives us a bit of back and forth as well. She's all over this idea that it might be a wedding for Bryn. I don't know. I find that bothered. I can't watch a 90-minute episode that's about Bryn getting married. I'll have to go make a cup of tea halfway through.
You didn't warm to Smithy either, did you, to start with?
No, not particularly. However, now I'm on board with Smithy. And I think it's how he stepped into fatherhood. I think we can all agree that was a real turning point in his characterisation. We quite often say in real life, don't we? It could be the making of you. And it seems to have been the making for him.
This Christmas special of Gavin and Stacey is the most anticipated bit of Christmas telly coming up for the festive season, and it's everywhere. And the podcast is proving to be really successful. I saw, Olivia, on your Instagram this morning, as of recording, you put a post up, number 26 in the charts. There's a huge buzz about this Christmas special. So obviously, I'm hoping that's caused a huge buzz about your podcast.
Yeah, what's been really nice is getting emails from people like all around the world who love the show and then have then connected with the podcast. And I think the podcast has become the thing that people binge, just like they do with the show. And people love really like living moments, finding out what we think about the characters. And yeah, together as a community, it feels like, yeah, we're theorising for this last ever episode, making our predictions. They're probably all wrong, but maybe if we're right, we'll feel very satisfied on Christmas Day. We shall see. But yeah, it has proved fairly popular. I think the main thing for myself and Olivia is just making sure our friendship was right at the centre of this podcast. It's been really nice just watching my favourite show, rewatching it, any excuse, right, and getting to hang out with my best mate and debrief on the show. And hopefully that is why it's resonated with so many listeners, because it is just two friends chatting and they can feel like they're part of our world, you know?
Also, Abbie has to take credit for the fact that she's really tapped into where the fandoms are hanging out. You can share it on your social media, but if there's not a super fan following you, it might not get to them. Abbie has tapped into those communities online on Reddit, making sure that it's in front of their eyes and it's spread naturally through that fan group. And that's just business sense. She's so smart in that way of getting it in front of the right eyes to then have that ripple effect. And clearly, as a result of that, you know, we've got thousands of downloads, which is mad in just a couple of weeks.
You have got to think about that marketing. It's all very well having a great idea, having a great chemistry, great subject. You put the podcast out there, but if you don't tell people it's there in that saturated market, it could easily get lost. So Abbie, tell me a bit more about finding your tribe, as it were, finding your listeners.
Yeah, what's been really interesting for me is I do a lot of music radio, a lot of sports broadcasting. So as I started sharing it on my story, lots of people who I didn't know who listened to me on the radio or have watched, I don't know, my content with the Lionesses are like, no way, I love this show as well. So they've kind of engaged with the podcast from early doors. And then, yeah, it's been tapping up these communities on Reddit, replying to messages, getting back to people on our email address and making sure that they're sticking with us on this journey right the way till Christmas Day.
You have been very good in the podcast of reminding people about that email address and how to get in contact. And you've had these extra episodes as well with the listeners, emails and messages. What has been their reaction to the podcast?
I'd say the standout is a very similar reaction to what you said in your personal experience, that it's nice to see it through fresh eyes. And there's been a lot of comments of people going, oh, I'm so excited for Olivia to see this bit, or I'm so looking forward to hearing her reaction to Dawn and Pete's wedding, for example. You know, all the mad moments, less the heartfelt stuff, more the silly stuff, because that's where we really sort of get a bit giddy on the podcast and get excited. So, yeah, I think those moments have stood out to me as, oh, they get it and they get why we're doing it. Anybody could be doing a podcast about Gavin and Stacey right now, but the reason we decided to do it is because of this storyline of me seeing it through fresh eyes.
Getting listeners' reactions and having these sort of extra shows is quite a big thing in podcasting now. Lots of podcasts do it. How important was it for both of you to bring the listeners in and have those extra shows so that you could have that interaction?
Really crucial, I think. Yeah, really crucial. I feel like the Gavin and Stacey fandom are so dedicated. They love this show with their whole soul. So we want to hear what they have to think. You know, they've heard us ramble on for a good little while. We wanted to make sure we gave them some time and space as well. And that's what's been really nice. Again, they've picked up on things or sent over fun facts that we didn't know about. It's like a real exchange of enthusiasm and knowledge. I've really enjoyed it. You've heard what we think, and now it's time to delve into what you think. Every time we get a good review or a juicy email, I'm like, oh my Christ, and it just makes me so excited. So keep them coming. This is from Joe in Denver, and they say, I live in America and don't know many people that watch it over here, so I had to talk about it with you two. Love that.
Oh, that's nice.
Part of the gang. I've also read it's not set at Christmas, so now my brain is racing. So many questions, trying to guess what's what. I mean, you and me both. Joe's predictions. After looking at the official synopsis, which is now out, I do think we're going to finally get an answer on that infamous fishing trip. I think it's going to be mentioned right at the end and will actually be something very mundane, and everyone will wonder why Bryn was so worked up about it in the first place.
And how much at the heart of the podcast is your friendship? Because I feel it, and I feel like I've been invited in to listen to two really good friends chat. But was there a plan? Or have you just let things evolve naturally, organically?
I wish there'd been more of a plan, if I'm honest with you. It's been very much worked around our lives. You know, I've got two small children. Abbie is one of the busiest women in the world of music. So it's very much like texting each other and going, are you around to do it today? And can you edit this? And if we didn't have that friendship, you wouldn't commit this much to work. You'd draw some more boundaries, I think. And we've both done shifts where we've gone, that was a bit much actually, but we're in this together and it's a short-term project and we'll get it done and we'll see it through. So I don't think we would have done it if we hadn't been mates at the end of it, where we can really lean on each other for that experience. You know, Storm Dara took out my electricity for 48 hours. And Abbie was like, right, well, I'll just sort out the edits by myself then. You know, there's been these moments where friendship is what's kept it
Are we
going.
still friends?
Realistically.
And Abbie,
We'll see, eh?
You sound like you're still friends on the podcast, despite the dispute over Bryn. You do sound like you are. Abbie, do you wish there'd been more of a plan?
It has been really fun in a way to just throw myself into this project, and knowing and loving Olivia, we can just kind of go with it. And because we know each other so well, we've obviously always got that to fall back on. And I do think that probably means it's just been really fun and like beautiful chaos. But yeah, it's been a lot. But then seeing the reaction from listeners and getting these messages and things, it's amazing. And hopefully one day, Olivia will understand that Bryn's a good character and Dawn and Pete are the best underrated side characters and deserve their own spin-off. I'm working on it, Georgie. We're nearly there.
We do need a Pete and Dawn spin-off, don't we? Absolutely. I was cheering when you said that. I was like, yes, we do. We need that. We need that. Have you reached out at all to any of the cast or Ruth and James, or have you had any reaction at all from anyone involved?
We haven't yet. I think we left it so late when we finally decided, oh, come on then, let's do it. They were obviously planning in advance, far ahead, their calendars of where they were going to be, interviews, etc. We did reach out, of course, once again, Abbie with the business acumen, sending all the emails going, come on, come and have a chat with us. Come on. This is, people are loving it. Come and get involved. And she is really good at that side of things. I always had in the back of my head, I don't know who's going to care. Maybe nobody will care about this. And it's been so wonderful to see it grow. We've slipped into DMs. I sent a message to Joanna Page today, literally just saying, thanks for making this show. I'm gutted it's over. And that's how I genuinely feel now. And I'm all right with that being it, because we're all saying goodbye to it on Christmas Day, aren't we? And making our peace with it.
Where will you both be on Christmas Day watching it?
I'll be watching it with my dad and my brothers and my husband, who are also really into the show. So I'm really looking forward to it. We've worked our whole Christmas Day schedule around making sure we're sat down, we're ready to watch it. Need to make sure I don't have too many Baileys with my nan before the show comes on, and I'm actually ready to watch it, enjoy it. And obviously I need to be taking mental notes to do a debrief podcast with Olivia as well, which we'll do a couple of days later.
Yeah, not too many mint Baileys. You'll end up like
Exactly.
Doris.
It's a slippery slope, isn't it?
Olivia, where will you be? Will you be doing voice notes?
I definitely will be doing voice notes. Before we started the podcast, just before I sat down to watch Series 1, Episode 1, I got a little voice note of me asking my wife to watch it with me, just sort of recorded in the background. Oh, babe, I've got to watch this thing for a podcast. Do you want to watch it with me? And she went, I was going to do the washing tonight. And she makes this really terrible excuse. And it didn't make the final cut of the first episode. But honestly, that set the tone for how alone I was in this household on this project. So it'll be me in a room alone with some chocolates for 90 minutes and making all the voice notes.
This has been such a success. It's really caught people's imagination and it's doing really, really well. And I'm so pleased for you both. Are there any other classic shows that one or the other of you has never seen that you think, well, we could carry on this format and do another series with something else?
Shall I admit all the shows I haven't watched, Abbie?
God, that will take a while.
Because there's tons of film. I mean, I've never seen Star Wars, and I'm very proud of that.
Me neither.
Oh, excellent. Well done. So there's all sorts of things that, you think people will have seen and they haven't. So what have you not seen, Olivia?
I mean, I've not seen a lot. We were talking the other day about Ted Lasso. I've not seen that. You sort of want these TV shows that have got a bit of a cult following. Abbie, frustratingly, has very much got her finger on the pulse. So I feel like it'll always be this dynamic where I'm on the back foot and she's the one that's sort of in control, because she does accidentally drop spoilers. I would love to flip it round though. What's a show that you've not seen, Abbie?
Oh God, I think it's ones where, because of my ADHD, I just can't focus. Ones that have so many different episodes, like Game of Thrones, never got into that, and then I was so far behind, I sort of lost the wave of it. And Breaking Bad, again, I was a bit slow on the uptake. And then because my friends sort of stopped talking about it, I lost interest and didn't commit to it either. That's two big shows people are always surprised I haven't seen.
Have you seen Stranger Things? Because they've got a big series, final season next year. Yeah, I've not seen that. So maybe that's our next one.
What? Olivia, come on. That's a huge show. That's nuts.
Well, there you go then, ladies. That's your next series leading up to their big finale.
Yeah, maybe we can make a plan next time.
A big thank you to Abbie McCarthy and Olivia Jones for chatting to me. You can find Never Seen Gavin and Stacey on all major podcast platforms, and it's the perfect way to build up to that finale on Christmas Day. If you're not sure what to get someone for a last-minute Christmas present, then why not gift them a membership to the Radio Academy? For £36, you get live and on-demand access to Radio Academy events, regional branch socials, and you can attend the Radio Academy Festival and the Arias, as well as discounted tickets on friend and partner events. Check out our website, radioacademy.org/membership. There'll be a little message from us at the Radio Academy for Christmas and New Year, but that's all for full episodes from us for 2024. Thank you for listening to the podcast and for supporting it. Let your friends and colleagues know all about us and like and subscribe wherever you get your pods. It all helps and we really appreciate it. Have a happy Christmas and I'll see you in 2025.